Alright, now lose it. Go crazy.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. And we'll just call that intro a remix for now.
Something that can only be done by the greatest of audio files. I approve. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Was awesome.
Thank you. So the the intro music that I paid for and have a right to use got copyright striked in last week's episode. And so needless to say, we're in dispute over that. So the way to fix it for this week was just to take part of the audio and reverse it. Yeah. So anyway, we're just having a little fun with that, and we'll either have new music or we'll get that worked out. So silliness, people trying to grab a hold of stuff that's just not theirs, but that's okay. Welcome out to this week's episode. We are so excited for tonight's show. We have a lot to talk about. So many news, so many feelings are good and bad, and people are hurt, and some people are excited, and other people are like, "What's all the fuss?" Well, we're going to get into what the fuss is. My name is WEBDAVE, and of course, I am joined by my co-host, the wonderful, powerful Oz, Hargeet Chani. Hargeet, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. Yeah, we had some fun reveals over the week. We also had South of Midnight come out. Let's talk about it.
I know, man. I mean, it's like a whole bunch of stuff happened this week, and then a whole bunch of stuff like hit the fan, as it were, as well. And then, of course, we have up in the top corner, we have K. Asante. Hello, sir, Master Jedi K. Asante. What's up, buddy?
Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Thank you so much for having me, as usual. I'm always happy to be here when I have an opportunity to be here. This is great, and haven't had a chance to podcast with Holly in a minute, so I'm happy to be here. It's awesome. Yeah, thanks.
It is awesome. And speaking of Holly, that blue number, we are blessed to have her back again. She is amazing. Hello, Holly. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hey, chat. Oh my gosh, Hargeet, you have your own little circle pick. That's amazing. I just looked down and saw it. That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a busy week. Obviously Nintendo, but the thing that was very exciting for me was that Warzone Verdansk came back this week, which is big in the Call of Duty nerddom, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, let's do it, right?
Oh, it sounds good. So like K. Asante, he's a fan of Ahsoka. So we had the Ahsoka chat there. And then of course Hargeet, we have Hargeet's emoji right there. Throwing them up as we go if you're on YouTube. And then this week we have Holly's Holly's emoji has a she's Jedi. Look.
Yeah, look at that. That's cool.
Jedi emoji. You see it right
That's
there?
pretty cool.
That's me?
Yeah.
That's you.
Oh my goodness.
Well done.
I got my own. That's so cool.
You do. And just so we're clear, our good friend who's already in the chat, and I know he's just sitting here waiting. It's our good friend Farq. Well, Farq, we all know how talented he is at let's say creative license. And so we're going to show you a few of his images that he was wonderful enough to create for us for this show. Because, it's nothing, everybody is a Jedi on the show right now. So I thought we need to add another Jedi. And Farq, in his all-powerful wisdom, he said, send me some samples. And like literally before I sent him any samples, he started sending me like his results. I was like, how did he's oh yeah, I got started on this. I was like, okay. So yeah, we'll do a little share screen here, and let's see, which one is it? Is this one? Is it this one? Is it this one?
Farq's already apologized, and I haven't seen it yet.
no need to apologize. These are great. There's one.
Hey,
like that.
All right, I could get down with that.
All right, see, that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a Holly Ray, and then this is my favorite right there.
Oh yeah, I like that one. That one's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're all good. I mean,
yeah.
The subject is, there you go. You can't beat that. Look at that.
That was really good. I like
Yeah,
that one.
That
Yeah,
one's good. Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
wallpaper worthy. That right there.
There you go.
Ooh, that one's cool too. In blue. Thank you very much.
There you go. So there. So see, it wasn't
Although
so bad.
the head to body ratio is a little off on that one.
Yeah,
I'll
my
admit it.
forehead seems to be a little big.
It's a little bit. I don't know.
The one with the sun, though, yeah, that
Yeah, that
one,
was cool. That's cool. That's
hair
real
and
cool.
yeah, that one's absolutely perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. I'm digging that one for sure. So there you go. So that wasn't too bad. Thank you, FarQ, for doing that. That was awesome. We'll go back. There we go. So see, it wasn't so bad.
No,
Yeah.
I'm never scared that it's going to be terrible. It's always just, okay, what is it going to be? He did one for me as Joanna Dark, and legitimately all I can see is my face when I look at the Joanna Dark picture now, because he was really good, and I was like, oh man, that kind of looked like Joanna Dark a little. Like, I tweeted out and I was like, Xbox, you should if you ever looking for a different face model for Joanna Dark. But
there you go.
anyway.
There you go. All right. We got a super chat right off the bat. And of course, welcome. We've already got 104 people watching us live. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a couple on X. We have like almost 100 on YouTube and 1 on Twitch watching us. So thank you so much. And Hargeet, do you want to bring up that super chat? I'll let you command.
So we got this member for 19-month renewal for Chris Jones. Thank you. And then we get to the super chat. Actually, I can just go here. Adidas 20 $2. Salute, and Hargeet, show me the olives. You ask, I oblige. There they are.
You ready for that, isn't he? I love it.
That's what we got.
And yep. So again, welcome out everybody in the chat. So many great members of the community. Let's see, Talis Ray, Toolman is here. FarQ, of course. We've got that blue number. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Just kidding. Tammy is here as well. So Adidas 20, King Web. Let's see. Just kind of scrolling through. Be Nice is here already. Yeah. Okay, Asante, of course, is in the chat. I love it. Let's see, RSJ Fan, Brothers Grimm, BT Maverick. My goodness, so many. Thank you all so much for being here, and many more that are here as well. And Chris is here. Chris Jones is hanging out with us, yeah, so many more. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, if you're a member, just burn them up with those emojis. They're only it's only $1 to become a member, and you have access to all these wonderful emojis. And where do we want to start tonight, guys? On show topics, I mean, of course, we got a couple of big ones, but we got some that maybe aren't so big. I don't know if you guys want to. Apparently, got to make a quick phone call, so we'll start off with the. South of Midnight. Who's played it? I will start off with Kay, and then if I don't make it back in a minute, you guys can talk amongst yourselves, because I know Hargeet can run the show. So I'll be right back.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Well, okay, so I was able to. Well, full disclosure, I have been playing South of Midnight for a little bit. I was able to get a preview build. I was able to. I requested Xbox provide me a preview build, and they did so. So I was able to be part of the preview coverage. And then I was also lucky enough to interview Chris Fox, who is the audio director for Compulsion. Cheap plug. Go check it out on GCP. Was able to do that. That was really cool. And then, of course, I was able to play through the whole game. My thoughts on South of Midnight, honestly, I think it's wonderful. I think that South of Midnight is one of those games that you can hold up to prove that gaming is a mature medium, you know? Back in the day, gaming used to just be a representative of this. What is gaming? Mario hitting something on the head, you know, that kind of thing. Now, gaming, like movies and books and all that, are mature enough to have many different kinds of stories, both in narrative and gameplay elements, right? So like some games come out where the narrative is a backdrop to all the awesome gameplay elements that it offers. Other games come out where the gameplay is the backdrop to trying to tell you a narrative, impactful story. I think that's what this is more like. So I wouldn't exactly call it like a walking simulator because I think there is more gameplay aspects to it than that. But I would say that its gameplay is like to call it simplistic is doing it a disservice. It's quite good, you know, and the more you put into it, the better it gets. Meaning like there are almost crackdown like orbs in the world you must collect, and as you collect them, they give you powers to then power more of your unlock more of your resource capabilities when it comes to fighting. If you do more of that, then the fights become super interesting, and you're using lots of tools to handle different bosses and stuff like that. So it keeps the combat pretty interesting. But that's not why you would be there, in my opinion, anyway. Not in my that's not why I was there. For me, the story carried the whole thing, and it was pretty damn excellent. So yeah, I know that there's talk on the internet these days about what the game, where the game should be placed as far as is it good, is it bad, what it does, what its strengths are, and all of that. So for me, I think its strengths were the narrative. I think its locomotion style traversal was really, really great. The combat was decent. It was nothing to like really phone home about, but it also wasn't terrible in my humble opinion. Like for me, it sits around an 8.5. I think the story was excellent. I think the gameplay kind of was okay. It was serviceable, and it got us to the next narrative beat. So for me, it was pretty good. So that's just me. Anyone else? Has anyone actually played the game on here? I don't know about you, Holly. Have you played it yet?
Sorry, getting the mute button. No, because I didn't buy the early access.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people who doesn't have a problem with the cost of early access, provided that it comes with DLC in the future. To me, I feel like that's a fair, like you're betting on the fact that DLC will come and that you'll want to play it. So I'm giving you this money early in return for a few days for early access, right? I believe early access was only $10
$10
for this one, but it didn't come with anything except 5 days early, right? And then I think it came with an art book and the soundtrack, but
and the soundtrack,
just to be but to be perfectly fair, honest, is like all the soundtracks are on YouTube. You can listen to them anytime. And then the digital art book, like I'm never look at that because it's usually attached to your console, and and I have those from other games. I never look at them. So to me, the early access
wasn't worth the price. Yeah.
No,
which is a fair
and
criticism.
I would do that for any game too. That's not because it's this game. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't support early access without a bigger return on investment for me.
And honestly, to me, that is you standing on business. I appreciate that. Up until now, I have not paid $70. Well, I think I can count on one hand this whole generation when I've paid $70 for a game. Not because I can't afford it, but because y'all decided I needed to pay $70. And I'm like, nope, just because y'all decided does not mean that. So I don't really do that all the time. So I appreciate you saying that. And I agree with you. They started offering you early access with the promise of a DLC or something like that. And little by little, they've been whittling it away. It's not, allowing that to continue and supporting it with your money is a bad look. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Agreed. And I feel like Avowed was even more egregious because that was like $25 with no DLC. I think it just gave you a few custom skins and like 3 days early access, or even if it was 5, I was just like, wait a minute, like 10 is a better price point for that. But I still kind of just don't really agree with paying for early access just for early access. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
How about you, Hargeet? Oh, please. And Dave is back.
Hello. Sorry about that. Work call. Good times when you have a trash compactor that doesn't work anymore and you have a whole hospital full of trash and they're trying to figure out what to do next. And it's a Sunday. Yay.
Yay.
Good times. So I'll deal with that tomorrow morning. Anyway, but yeah, no, my quick thoughts before we go to Hargeet. Sorry, Hargeet, you cut you off. I think it's great. I played a little bit of it, haven't finished it yet, but and I did do the early access myself because right now my schedule's kind of. I figured it was easier to jump in and get in to play it. Was it worth the $10? I mean, for me, it was because it was I get to play it early. Other than that, you're right. There wasn't like a big incentive to do it. If it was like maybe like a week early or maybe longer or something like that, maybe it'd be to more people. But then again, you don't have to. You can just wait until it comes out, which I think it's out tomorrow, the next day. Yeah. So
Now, real quick, I will say this for those who are righteously so waiting for the game to come to Game Pass proper before you play it. And to Paris's point, I see you in there, Paris. What's going on, good sir?
Hey, Paris.
He says for him, it was too simplistic and too repetitive. To avoid that eventuality, if that's something you've heard, take this game like Crackdown. There are orbs in the world. Call them floofs. Yes, that's what they're called. No spoilers, but find all of them. Like, that's the point. If you do that, I think you'll find it less of what Mr. Lilly is responding, because I feel like they don't expressly tell you that, and maybe that's a criticism that I think it can be fair to levy on the game a bit. Maybe the progression should have been tied to you just playing and fighting and with the combat, right? Then the more you play, the better you get at it. But it's not. So if you don't know to find all the floofs in the world, your combat skills never grow. You just kind of have the same tools you had from jump, and it'll just keep going for enemy to enemy and that, to his point, it becomes repetitive, right? But if you do that Crackdown thing where you find all of those orbs, now it unlocks all your combat skills. Now you're doing different things with different. And I found that by the time, like, it took me to level about chapter 12 for me to get all of my skills ready to go, and I was very, very powerful and really like House and Fools, as it were. And the game ended on chapter 13. So it didn't really get repetitive for me.
Wow.
Right?
There you go.
So, yeah.
You?
I have not had a chance to pay to play that yet, but I did actually pay for the $10 upgrade. But yeah, I have not actually had a chance to play the game yet. Mostly because I've been just playing Shadows, and then Harold Halibut was going to leave, so I started playing that. It's going to leave Game Pass, right? So I kicked that off. Yeah, I guess good note that, hey, you have to actually, go searching for that, right? Asante. That's I don't know if everybody, who gave it higher ratings figured that out, right? Because there was a lot of like 10s and 9s and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of people who really loved it. And then there are people who the same way had basically said, hey, it's repetitive. It's the same freaking thing over and over again. And maybe they're just not doing a good job exemplifying that, hey, this is how you change things. That is a good point. And it is incumbent upon this is the kind of the funny thing, right? Of like bringing new players into something, right? We kind of, that because you played Crackdown and you said, oh, look, shiny, I'm going to go get it. Right. And it's like, well, the new kind of player who comes in may not realize that that's even a thing. And
also to be fair, though, like the story, like I said, to me, the what this game excels at is the narrative. So you're always trying to find that next narrative. So you press the little guide button and it says Hazel in your ear and it says to the left, and you just want to go to the left to find the next narrative beat. No,
but if you go to the right,
because you'll find more of those things, right? So if you do follow the narrative and you keep following it, when you eventually get to the combat sections, now you got nothing in your arsenal, right? And now it just becomes another one of those, okay, let's do this. But if you do follow all the floofs, yes, that is the new game name in gaming, floofs, indeed.
Well, thank God. That's
now
how I
you have
play
a lot of
games.
stuff in your
I always do like the explore. Oh, you want me to go that way? I'm going that way. I want to see what's over there because I know you hit something over there.
But to be clear, though, like I hunted all of this stuff down. I did all of this. 16 hours max. I was done. It wasn't that long.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's good, by the way. I like that. Like, we already have enough. Like I'm playing AC Shadows, which is going to end up being like an 80-hour game at least. So it's good to have a little break with a 10-hour, 12-hour, 15-hour game. It's a good, like, and even shorter, 4 or 5 hours. I like that kind of thing. Just, play, have fun and move on. Right. Not everything needs to be that, if 10, 15,000 people making a freaking game that lasts forever. So yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to playing it. So we'll see when I get to it, though. It's the backlog issue. It's always the backlog issue. And here's the problem: South of Midnight's never going to leave Game Pass, so I don't have to worry about playing that.
Although I will say for you, Hargeet, you and I have been on many a shows where we've talked about like allowing different voices to speak, and
Yes, and that
how
is one thing
will
I'm really looking
right,
forward to. Right, a
how
very
will
distinctly
a
different
studio
thing.
with right, you specifically asked this question of me before, how will a studio with you know a director who's not of that culture, how are they? I will tell you, in my humble estimation, they took a dart and they went bullseye, bing, right there, like
Nice,
perfection, right?
Nice.
So
Nice.
you know,
Very nice.
you want to hear them. I want you to follow along with that story eventually whenever you get to it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. That's like I said, it's I mean, it's including Game Pass, so you
Yeah.
Yep.
you can't lose. You know, it's, as far if you have Game Pass, it's a winner. Go ahead, Hargeet. You have
And
something to say?
not to belabor this too much, but I guess Asante, did you try it both on PC and on console?
I did. Yes, I
Okay.
played it on Xbox Series X. I didn't play it on S because my kids were using that too much, but I was using the X, and I also played it on handheld, and I also played on the big dog PC. So yes, I played it in multiple places, and it actually plays pretty darn well everywhere. I have had no issues.
Nice.
Nice.
Is it much better on the PC, or is it essentially the same? Like, did they kind of tailor it
I
to the
mean,
Series X?
I mean, like it plays buttery smooth wherever you happen to play it. But obviously on the PC, you know, it plays best because there's a lot more headroom on the PC. So and this is where I will talk. I have like this handheld device that I recently got my hands on, and it's got like this awesome like OLED screen that I want to play everything on, and it has 120 hertz. So I was like playing it on the PC at 4090, and then moonlighting it to here, and it was like as if it was playing here, and it was really, really good. So yes, it plays on everything. Like even on the handheld native, it's very, very smooth. I think anybody can play it. It's very easy to do. Although I will say, a beautiful art style, painterly, awesome. Not for your kids. It may look like it is. It's not. It's got some language in it. Oh boy, the subject matter will leave you like there were a couple times where I had to put the controller down, step away for a little bit because it was like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There's been a couple tweets out about what it was, and I was like, it's from people with a lot of followers, and I was like, well, I kind of wish I hadn't seen that. Like, it's still in early access, right?
So do not
Yeah.
tell because I haven't heard anything.
No,
I
Thank God. This is why I'm not.
No, I'm
I
not gonna
love
say
not being
anything,
on social
but-
media.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get any of
There's
those.
Try very hard not to get spoiled. I think it's
will
powerful
experience
stuff.
the game for myself.
Yeah, don't get spoiled. It's powerful stuff. It's great. It's short. It doesn't outlast. It's welcome. I think it's awesome.
There you go.
And that device you showed me, or showed us, just for future discussions that are going to happen. How much was that device?
For future, this device was okay. This device is $450.
Okay.
Yes, there's a bigger version of this device that's $550. It has, I think it was 32 gigs of RAM. This is 16 gigs of RAM. 16 gigs of RAM,
Cool.
512 gigs of storage, OLED 7-inch screen, 112 hertz HDR,
120
blah, blah, blah.
hertz. 120.
120 hertz. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Android.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to have for a comparison, right? For something that's going to come later.
Yes. I know where you're going, good sir. Continue.
There you go. There you go. Well, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Like Joey Honda has already he beat the game, and he says not for everyone, but he enjoyed it very much, and he rolled credits on it. So that's cool. Very cool. Very cool. Lots of topics there. Well, look at this one. Look at this guy.
FarQ member renewal for 17 months. Thank you, FarQ.
Yes, thank you so much. FarQ. Anyway, FarQ, my hero. There you go. So talented. So yeah. We do have Paris Lily in the chat, and this one of Paris's really good friends on screen right now. Yeah, and he was at the Switch 2, I guess, kind of reveal hands-on kind of thing. I don't know if Paris was there or not, or Paris got to go or not. I don't know. But I did see where Danny had posted this picture in his comments. A lot of different influencers were able to go to this event and check it out. And most of them, you know, with the hands-on experience was really positive. So, you know, that's cool. I'm excited for it. I want to get it. It's one of our hot topics today. Is a little backlash, a little other stuff going on with it. So let's I guess let's start off and I honestly, it doesn't matter who wants to go first. We'll preface it because there's several different parts that we can talk about with the Nintendo Switch. But let's first talk about the release date real quick. Let's touch on that, and then we'll get to the big topics. So around the Nintendo Switch 2. So it is June 5th is the day that it's going to be released, which Asante, Hargeet, Holly, if you look at our calendars,
yeah, we're going to be busy that day for some reason. Yeah.
Going to be in the air that day or flying in.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Though if you want to pick it up,
Yeah.
at least Best Buy, if not also GameStop, will likely have like midnight, lines to pick it up. So if you pre-order it, you can actually pick it up at midnight.
Walmart is promising morning delivery by 9 a.m. on the 5th.
That's
yeah,
nice.
so
I'll be in the.
So you have options, right? It's possible that you can get it
Wonder
in
if,
case you want to.
Wonder how much stock they'll have in LA.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, I know my daughter said that. Don't worry.
It
Dad,
already costs enough.
I'll pick
I'm
it up
not
for you.
paying for another Uber to go to Best
Yeah,
Buy.
that's true. Yeah, Yep. We'll see.
Yeah. But
LA
luckily,
isn't cheap.
yeah, luckily
True, no doubt.
We do know some transport. Korkenstein, welcome, buddy. Oh yeah, he lives in LA, and maybe we can all send him some money and have him pick up our copies there. Just saying. We'll meet you at the hotel room, buddy, with our new Switches. Just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, so that's going to be big. It's exciting that it's coming out then. But I guess the there's two different ways we can go into it. Of course, the pre-orders are on track and they're ready to go. But the I guess reservation was supposed to start in a few days in the U.S. And that's been delayed. Nintendo says it's due to tariffs. The price was already set long before this, so let's not make that excuse. But then again, they had this wonderful treehouse, three of them now, where just about every comment or every other comment was bring the price down, it's too high, bring the price down, lower the price. They got bombarded with that and a lot of backlash. And Nintendo is for the price. I mean, if you remember, we go back into history a little bit, the 3D was it the advanced 3D 3DS, I think it was called something like that. Their system that they had, it was a handheld advanced system, but it had like 3D option on it, and the price on that was pretty expensive, and they ended up lowering it like a month or two after it came out, like almost by like $50 because of the outrage of the price, and they ended up selling tons of them that way. But that wasn't their initial intent as far as price goes. So they have bent the knee, as it were. I don't think this is necessarily on par with some people are saying, it's going to be the Wii U all over again. I don't see that happening. But there is definitely some issues there. So Hargeet, you look like you're chomping at the bit. You want to jump on this first?
Yeah, I was just curious if we wanted to talk about like the show first, but let's talk about the pre-orders and the whole stupidity first. At $450 with a dock, I think the price of the console is very fair. I don't see why people are upset about that. I just don't get it. If you wanted something that, like, you had one, Asante, very similar OLED display instead. Did it come with a dock?
No, did not come with a dock, but it's basically USB-C. It's a standard fare. Yeah. And it's an Android-based device. Yeah.
Right. So,
no dock.
So again, it's just, and there's an added cost to that, right? So it just is what it is. And so I don't know where the fury is on that price. That it was always going to be between $400 and $500.
To your point, the replacement. To your point, the replacement dock is $110. So I mean, it doesn't cost them $110 to put it in it. That gives you sort of a place to live. Right.
Right. And you might compare it to a Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck is like $400 for the lowest tier. It's about the same storage, almost the same specs. But again, the dock for that is $80 that you have to buy separately. Right. And so it's very similar in price. It gives you a lot of performance. If you're starting to see some of the comparisons for graphics, that DLSS is kicking in, guys. It's doing some pretty good stuff. So you can't exactly say it's a slouch and it's not going to handle what it needs to. It seems on paper and from what we're seeing, it's probably in that range between Series S and Series X, and it's going to trounce the Steam Deck. Now, is it going to trounce the Steam Deck in games, like a number of games available? No, because it has Steam, right? Steam is obviously going to have a lot more games, right? It's not going to have the Nintendo games, not officially anyway. So, right? So,
You gotta stop that, man. Stop it.
it just is what it is.
It is what it is.
But so I don't understand the fury on that. The one that I do understand is Mario Kart being $80. That is crap.
Well, it's the
there was
first of
no
many.
reason, right?
It's the first of many.
Well, the others I can explain away, right? At least I can. So you have a Kirby, but they're adding an expansion. Okay, it's fair. You're adding an expansion. Generally, that's between $15 to $20 for an expansion. Fine, I'll give you that one. There's the Mario Party Jamboree, also adding an expansion. Okay, fair enough. Fine. You have Zelda. This one's a little tricky. Tears of the Kingdom came out at $70 on a Switch, and they want a $10 uplift to give you the Switch 2 enhancements. So that becomes $80.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sucks, but that's where it is, right? And Nintendo doesn't really discount their games, so there you are, right? It kind of sucks. It is what it is, right? But there's just no good reason for Mario Kart to be $80. I just don't see it. If they told me the game is on the cartridge is more expensive because it's got a larger amount of storage, okay, I'll give you that. Fine. It's not that. And like, so why is this thing costing that much? I don't, it's to me, it's just, they can charge you that. That's it. It's their top selling game. They're like, why not? You're going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's literally it. They know you're going to line up and buy it anyway. So just pay the extra, $10. Literally, to me, it's greed. I don't see any other obvious reason for it. So to me, it's greed. It's just pure greed. Because Donkey Kong, that's a pretty big game, and $70. Brand new game, $70. Okay, so why wasn't that $80? Because they know people aren't going to buy at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
They know people are going to buy Mario Kart. It's just the way it is. Guaranteed they're probably going to do this for freaking Zelda mainline games and Mario mainline games because they can. And that's really sad, but that's kind of where we are, right? So will GTA do the same thing? This opened the door for it. It opened the door for it, right? Are you going to say no if it's $80? Maybe like 4% of people will say no. Do you think they care? They're going to make up for it for the rest. So it is what it is. It sucks. It is what it is. But that's supply and demand. You want it, you're going to pay. It stinks. I don't like it at all, but I can understand. They're like, you're going to buy this. Now, by the way, for those who think that the tariffs are an issue, why are the prices different? The same high level everywhere else? That's just a U.S. issue. But why is it expensive in Europe? Why is it expensive everywhere else?
Yep.
Same thing, right? So it has nothing to do with tariffs. That price is already set. And if they were so blatantly dumb to not know that this was happening since it's been announced last year, and they didn't put those freaking things in warehouses in the US already, they're just absolute morons, because they should have done that already. There was no reason to not hedge your bets and just say, we know we're going to sell this many over here. Let's just put them here now. They say they've already freaking got 20 million of them. Why the hell didn't you ship them over here already? The hell are you thinking? You should have done that. If this is a problem for you, you're just stupid. You're just stupid. So that's their problem. I don't give a crap. You messed up. Deal with it. So the other part, as far as the sales, people seem to think they're in some sort of quandary and nobody's going to buy this thing. UK already had their pre-orders. Gone in minutes. Sold out. Gone in minutes. So yeah, no, folks. This is going to be the biggest launch of console history. It's going to sell out everywhere. Deal with it. This whole hubbub, too expensive. You're still going to line up and buy it. It's the way it is. Get over it. It's still cheaper than a freaking PS5 Pro. It's still cheaper than a Series X. Deal with it.
Agreed. Okay, Asante, we'll jump to you next.
So I come bearing gifts for those of us in the US who are like, I don't care what's happening, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be able to pre-order and make sure mine's available to me when it's available to me. To you, fine folks, I say there's a magical website called Amazon.co.uk. As Mr. Hargeet Chani was regaling us with reasons why none of this is important, it just so serendipitously happened that Amazon.co.uk sent me an email at that very moment where they said, congratulations, you are now eligible to pre-order your bundle with Mario Kart World. And guess what? We will deliver it to you in your home in Florida for an extra $20. I was like, absolutely. Bob's your uncle, 520, pre-ordered, done. So Amazon.co.uk, if you don't want to wait and deal with any of the BS, do it now. What the side effect of that? I'll get mine a little later than everybody else will. But the awesome thing about that is, as we've already discussed, on June 5th, I will not be at my home. So chances are on June 12th, when it does arrive, I will definitely be at my home. So it actually works out in my favor. But yes, Amazon.co.uk is where you can do that. I just did that a few minutes ago. Anyway, nice. So what do I think of the tariffs? What do I think of all the purchase, the whole situation? It is what it is, man. Like we never assuage thought and morality to business. We live in a capitalistic society, right? Whenever you put money on the table and it's there, right? Not everybody is Gabe Newell, who doesn't answer to anyone but himself, right? Everybody else answers to a board of directors that says, see that damn money that's on the table, how dare you not go and grab it, right? So that's just the way it is, right? So exactly to the point that you guys have already made, Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. And let's be absolutely clear, as the youngins say, keep it a buck. The reason why they're doing this is because they can. You have trained them. You, consumer, have trained them over years and years and years of you gobbling up their potatoes they sell you for top dollar, right? Like, you've done that eagerly. More often than not, you buy 2 or 3 of them in your home, right? They'll sell you cardboard and you'll go, yes, please, give me another. And they'll sell you cardboard for $80. And I know it's $80 because that mother effer has been sitting in my cart for almost 2 years now. My son wants it real bad, and I refuse to spend $80 on cardboard. But okay, that's another conversation. Needless to say, this is not to excuse Nintendo's behavior, because I think Nintendo, deserves the smoke here, right? I think that this is the territory, they bring themselves into interesting territory, right? And I agree with Hargeet that at the end of the day, while there'll be a lot of complaints, people will still buy, right? I completely agree with that. But where I do have not concerns, but where I do find what I keep my eyes out and see it will be interesting is the idea that for a long time now, these devices, like I myself, everybody knows me. If you know my content, you know that I mainly game on PC and handhelds. I have a Switch. I'm not really like a Switch main gamer. I have 4 Switches in this house, right? A Switch 1.0 that had the original Gen 1 Switch, Switch 2.0 for myself, and then 2 mini Switches for my kids. And that's just me. But that's because Switches have made themselves available to me in a way that I can purchase them in that way, right? But in a world where they're pricing themselves already at that higher level, right? It will still sell. I don't have any doubt on that. But will it sell at like 7, 8 to a household in certain cases that the casuals have made it reach that high level at that higher price, right? Who knows? I'm not exactly sure, right? Because you'll get me and you'll get a bunch of the hardcore. You'll get the people who will buy ROG Ally X's that for $7.99. You'll get us. But will you get mom and pop who will buy for kids for Christmas if there are $4.50 a pop, right? That's the question. And they have invited that to the market. They have done that to themselves, right? Also, for someone like me, now that you're doing that, right? I was on record to say I was day one. I was going to buy a couple of them because, between you and me, Gen 1 of this hardware tends to be the most vulnerable. So yeah, we'll just keep moving on that. So I was planning on buying at least 2 of them things, so I can have one that's solid and one that we can do some experimentation on. But that's neither here nor there. But now, even me, you're not catching me for 2 or 3 or 4. You're catching me for at least 1, because at the end of the day, it's beyond the price of just, hey, I want to have a couple of them to experiment with. It is like in more expensive console territory, right? So I just say all that to say, while we all come to this for different reasons and we may purchase for a different reason, when you, the company, start increasing the price to a point where it now starts competing with, like, a term not defined by me, high performance consoles, now you get judged by those high performance console requirements as well, right? So then the question becomes, can this be a singular console that everyone will play, that you could, this can be your mainstay device and play third party and first? They're trying to position themselves that way. From a hardware perspective, we shall see, right? So it's interesting. They're pushing forward. They're being bold. I like some of the software things they're doing there. I want to see more visual and I want to hear them talk more. I've heard some new interesting details about how they did their back compat that I thought was interesting. They're all playing in translation layer hardware software combos and things, which I thought was cool. But my only bit of side eye, I'm looking at them right now beyond the price, which, hey, we shall see. You make your bed, you'll lie in it. My only bit of side eye is, you've set this hardware up. We know Nintendo's going to Nintendo. They tend to set up a piece of hardware for like 10 years, right? We've seen what happened with the Switch. Question is, 10 years from now, will the Switch 2 still be what the Switch 1 is? From what I've seen right now, I am not so sure, right? It seems like a Switch Pro rather than a Switch 2, right? And the Switch 1 had a lot in the tank before it got to the long in the tooth phase. And I feel like a Switch Pro may get to that long in the tooth phase a little earlier than we expect, but that's like a 3, 4, 5 year down the line concern. For now, if you love your Switch, if you're a Switch user, I think they give you more to love. That's my thought on it.
There you go. Holly, any thoughts on this particular topic?
Man, I got a lot of thoughts on this.
Let's go.
Like, it's funny. It's one of those things where it's like, where do you start, right? Like,
right.
When this thing was announced, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna buy it, right? Like, because I have had a Nintendo like forever, right? Nintendo is my first console. I'll just always have a Nintendo, except the Wii U. I did not buy that one, just like everybody else. But beyond that,
I'm a proud Wii U owner. Damn it! Me and the 12 other people. Okay.
I used to have one.
I love my Wii U. It's collecting dust over there. I'm sorry.
I even had a guy at work tell me he had 2 original Game Boys and like they both worked. And he's like, do you want one? And I was like, yeah. So he brought me one of the OG original Game Boys with a bunch of cartridges for it. So I've got that too, that, I play around with every once in a while. But boy, gaming has come a long way when you look at the original Game Boy.
Yes, it has.
So anyway, so I didn't expect any big deals about this announcement. I was like, yeah, we'll watch the announcement, I'll order it, whatever, move on, right? But then the world kind of blew up in Nintendo bubble because of what they've done with this console. Agree with Hargeet in the fact that I don't think the price is outrageous. I feel like it's the price. I mean, like kind of like Hargeet says, it is what it is. It is, I mean, I've only seen a couple people really have a problem with the price. More so they were trying to compare it to the Switch 1 launch, which was $300. But, we're in a significantly different world than we were then, and things cost more. This is upgraded tech, even though it's still, tech that's probably like 5 years old to the rest of the gaming world, right? No, okay. Well,
I think it's about 3-4 years in the tank. I think it's about 3.
Okay, 3 to 5. All right, let's do the bubble. 3 to 5.
Which let's be clear, Switch had a year or 2 in the tank when it first came out. So
for sure.
It's an upgrade.
Yeah, Nintendo is never on the current edge of things. They're like, whatever, we don't need the newest tech. But then so $450, fine. If we just talk about the console, no big deal. And then you start looking at the accessories. $50 for that little janky stick eyeball camera. Fine. If you want it, have at it. I think that the little circles of your face bouncing around in the game is absolutely ridiculous.
Holly, I'm
silly.
sorry. I have to say it. The first thing I saw when I saw that thing was, man, there are Android phones I throw at people because I don't like them that have better megapixels than that $100 offering they're
Oh
giving
my gosh.
me. This is crazy.
It's so silly.
$100
Like
offering.
nobody's
Pixels were
gonna
this
do that.
big.
The
And
camera's
you
only
know,
50, by the way.
Nintendo,
Uh-huh.
the camera's 50.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
50. Or you could get this
Yeah.
camera instead.
Oh,
Which
well,
I
do
think
like
is
that
super
one.
cool.
I
Now
like
that
that one.
I was like, okay.
That
Yep.
is $50.
Mhm.
Right. The other
Mhm.
one is like
Yes.
30 to me, right?
I hope the
This-
megapixels are better on this one, but still, just the looks
I
alone will
doubt
earn
it.
my money.
I
Look,
doubt it.
Not
I
only
doubt
can you have it set on a little
Yeah.
plant thing, but you can also plug it directly into the top of your system.
And
Okay,
it's nice.
check it out.
Okay. It is actually nice too that the mouth closes too, so
Mhm.
that it does have a little bit of a privacy thing. Right.
Kind of neat.
Yeah, which is cool, right? Awesome. It's really
Yeah.
cool that it closes.
Yeah. Yeah. But so then there's that. And then the the feature that I thought was kind of cool, but literally no one will use whatsoever, is the fact that you could all be sitting on your couch and have like the little party chat at the bottom of the window and see each other while you're gaming. Nobody's going to do that because you've got dinner dishes sitting over there. You've got like, like there's all these things about your house and you're just like, and people walking in and out don't want to be on the camera. I don't know. Seems
Yep.
like a kind of, and it was extremely pixelated, right? With that
Mhm.
was like 10 frames a second or something. But
I mean,
besides
Holly,
that,
don't you give them a little credit for that though? Like, how many Ubisoft
I
games do you
do.
see where it's just nothing represents real life? This was really real. I was like, yo, good look, Nintendo.
Well,
Show me your
it's-
pixels and compression. That was not bad.
I do feel like it's like Nintendo has finally said, hey, let's do party chat. It's a new
Mhm.
innovative thing, right? And so they
Yeah.
did it in a very Nintendo way, which is
Almost like
fine.
Apple, like in there, we've invented copy paste. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do wonder though, like, Nintendo has always had like friend codes, and I think that's mostly because they want to try to keep it locked for children, right? Like it has to be a very specific way to find your friends. And I
Yeah.
think that's smart. It's really good for Nintendo. I do wonder what shenanigans are going to start happening with these cameras that we're going to hear about, and then there's going to be problems with them. Having said that,
Mhm.
moving on. Joy-Cons.
Problems? Like what?
hate-
Just kidding.
I hate Joy-Cons. Hate them. But they're bigger because the screen is bigger. Cool, right? But
Yep.
$90 for a new pair of Joy-Cons feels rough. $80 or $90 for the Pro control, which is really just an Xbox One controller with the buttons in the wrong place. That's a little high, but it's fine, right? All of those are like, okay, fine, right? So you're kind of like, well, this is a little more pricey. Okay, fine, not a big deal. They're singular purchases. They're kind of one-offs, right? You just eat the price to begin with, not that big a deal. So all of that stuff, you're like, oh, whatever, I'm still getting it. And then when they drop the price of games, the whole game changes. Like the whole perspective completely changes. And the one thing I will absolutely give Nintendo credit for is the fact that for pretty much ever, right? Since a lot of the world has gone digital, gaming world has gone digital, digital only purchasers have sort of been subsidizing the physical media realm, right? Because it's the same price whether you buy it digital or physical. You get your game, probably don't actually have the game on the disc, and if you do, it doesn't have the day one patches and all that stuff. That's a whole nother conversation. And the fact that you're getting these key cards for your games instead of the actual game, all of that is another conversation. But the fact that Nintendo is separating out the people who buy physical and the people who buy digital and charging the differences, I actually applaud them for that. I don't applaud the fact that they're upping the price for any of that at all, but I do appreciate the fact that there is a separate price for that. It also is kind of a stinger because we know that Nintendo is like pretty much the last like heavily physical media console, and that a lot of the hardcore Nintendo people collect their stuff and they collect their games, right? They have big rooms of all these games and all these cartridges and all of these like really unique Nintendo things. And now they're taking away the fact that the games are actually on the cartridge, and they're going to charge you more for the DRM key, basically, right? That's in the box. So it's almost more of a slap to their hardcore audience than it is any of us people who just want to play their game and they come out and aren't necessarily like the pure enthusiasts of the actual Nintendo world. And
I have confirmation of that, and it's just one of the things that's confusing to me is like I don't know that Nintendo has confirmed that there'll be a difference in price between digital and physical. And there's also like this.
I saw it on the. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there has been confirmation there that there's at least a small price discrepancy between physical and digital, but it hasn't been like standardized. Right? Some third parties, like for example, like for example, Nintendo will come out, which absolutely. Nintendo will come out and they'll say, well, this card is this much, because it has this much bandwidth versus this much storage versus that much. So that's why it costs this versus that. And then CDPR will go like, hell nah, homie, we standing on business. Here's the game with a higher storage quality and it's still at standard price. So it's all over the place. The ink has not dried. The dust has not settled. Yeah. Nintendo's trying to create a narrative of some kind of, well, we're just only going to do what we could. Nah, they're trying to solidify thinking by humans, but it's not really what they say it is. It's they're trying to justify their earnings.
And literally, that's. And we have not seen a $90 game yet, right? So I don't know.
No, we have not. We have not.
Not unless it's. And these are base editions. If you're getting a limited edition, it's well over $100 now. Yeah. I know, but there are those.
I can't blame them for that, right? Right. Just $300 collector editions out there, right?
I have one more point.
Go ahead.
Okay, please go ahead.
I have one more point. Probably the biggest frustration about this whole thing is like, I love Nintendo games. Like I said, I get every Nintendo. I only play my Nintendo for Nintendo games. And it's fine that, I don't, there's a bigger argument, but before I get to that, like, Nintendo games cost like $50 million to make.
I was going to say the same thing.
Of all of the other games that we're seeing come out that are these major big party games. And they're the ones that say they need more money for them. And they have the biggest install base.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
You want more fun with that? So Nintendo's revenue for last year was something like 11 billion, 11 and a half, let's say billion, right?
And they need more.
Out of that 6.8 was profit.
Yep.
Yep.
So they're not hungry for cash. They are not in any way in trouble. Their margins are better than almost everybody else in gaming.
So what you're saying basically is they are the worst messenger to deliver this stupid message.
Oh yeah,
the worst messenger.
Outside of maybe Apple, who doesn't make any games but just makes pure profit off of everybody else.
True.
Outside of them, it is crazy that the ones putting out an $80 game, which to your point, Holly, it did not cost that much. You look at GTA, which has a budget of over $1 billion, and you're like, okay, I don't want that to be $80, but if somebody had a justification. That has much more of a
no, don't say that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't want that to happen. But tell me how Mario Kart is $80. Come on.
And then look, Nintendo lives off of nostalgia. Nintendo lives off of the fact that their games create this like personal emotional connection with these characters that they have that are cute, and you love them because you grew up with them, and your kids love them because they play them and they have their own version of them, all of that stuff, right? But like Nintendo is really starting to get a PR problem that is going to start balancing with that, because they're very anti-consumer in the fact that they go and they sue all of these little guys on YouTube making little like goofy
Oh,
AI
yeah.
videos.
They're
They
crazy
sued
about that.
they sued a grocery store in Central America called Super Mario or like Mario something, right? It was like a Mario Market or something. Like they go around and they look and they've come after Pal World, which I feel like is just like, come on, like, yeah, they were successful, but like just, you know, give them a fair warning and like, okay, next time we're, you know, like there's just all of this stuff that they do. And then they come out with the most anti-consumer pricing and expect you to applaud and be super happy with them. And I don't like ragging on Nintendo at all because Nintendo is the darling, right?
Right.
But they're
No.
really
I'll
out of
push back on
pocket
that,
right
but go ahead.
now. Yeah. Well, they're really out of pocket right now. And
Holly,
all of these
Holly,
things that they keep doing is a problem.
let's add to your level of slander because I love it. I have said it from the day they started. Why are they going after emulation providers and emulation YouTubers? It's because they're not innovating where they should be in the gaming department.
Right.
Pal World was the perfect example, right?
They're giving you a Switch
Yep.
Pro, and they know that if they allow Yuzu to live, you'll be able to emulate it day one. So Yuzu must die. That's what they're doing to you right now. Right? Instead of innovating and giving you something new and amazing that you strive to, no. We can just kill the little man so that we can just keep getting more cash, right? I am waiting for someone with deep pockets to fight against Nintendo because the day they meet Goliath to Goliath, they will fold like a deck of Balatros. Would you say?
Nice.
That's what's going to happen. But until that happens, they get to do exactly this. They get to be bullies. They get to make sure no one else gets to be in the market. And then they show up with, you know, let me be clear, better tech. I used to call it the abacus. Maybe there's an 8-track player. We don't know where we are right now. We have to wait till the ink is dry. But let's just say you're not getting what you pay for from a technology to price performance perspective. I get it. Console, it works. It's beautiful. You will enjoy it. I bought one while we were on this show. So let's just be clear, right?
Yeah.
But there are other technologies out there that offer you. So again, the price of performance is not crazy. It's not. It really isn't. It could be better. We're like Holly and Hargeet are on point. We are where we are, right? The world is where the world is, and the prices will be where the prices will be, right? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, you know, there are cell phones today that will perform better than that thing that's coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
Right. And those cell phones tend to be expensive, true, but you got to take all of that into account. So it's not as simple as, well, Nintendo bad or the other way. You know what I'm saying? It's a really mushy thing. But at the end of the day, the only smoke that I want to give Nintendo is I need them to innovate so they can earn your and my dollar. Right. And I feel like with this device, there's a lot of innovation here, but it's innovation in places to lock you in and stop you from being able to do what you want to do. That's where a lot of the innovation is. Right. And the places where you want innovation, they kind of give you a PS5 Pro to PS5.
Yeah.
Well, I'll add a lot more to that. So first, Nintendo, for those who don't remember, they started way back in the 80s, right? And they played the role of bully to the industry. So no, they are jackass assholes, and they've been that throughout their entire existence. The thing that changed, PlayStation came along and slapped them, right? And that humbled them a bit. That doesn't mean that they haven't still been assholes, like you were pointing out, Holly. They go after content. They shut down a Smash tournament over some stupid licensing thing. You're like, are you out of your fucking mind? Why would you do that? Of all the, like, why would you? Anyway, so they are jackasses when it comes to these things. So, and they have not learned. They just have not learned. So they've always been that way. I don't know if they ever will get to the point of being nice. One of the things that comes out of this is it reminds us of just how fucking awesome it is to be Xbox players. Because Phil is the absolute opposite of all this shit, right? They give us anything we want, however we want. Like, play it on a 4090, no problem. Play it on a freaking PlayStation, no problem. Play it on an Xbox Series X, no problem. They don't care. Buy it, pay for Game Pass, play it in the cloud. They're like, do whatever you want, right? And we'll make it as seamless as possible, right? They're the absolute opposite of this. I haven't even heard of a time where they're like, let's shut down a tournament because they didn't do something right with the IP. They're like, please play our games.
And they go in, and don't they Don't
What
they
are you
copyright or
doing?
patent like everything too, so that they can
Oh my
use that
God.
against? And I don't think that should be like there should be limitations on the way that happens too, right? Because then you're like you
I
can't throw a
wish,
ball at
yes.
something and it catches
And
it,
call
otherwise
that a
Nintendo
patent.
will sue you.
That's
Like,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Can like the NFL come in and say, we have a game that does that. It's called
Yeah.
football. Can
Yes,
you
But
actually
right?
have that?
remember,
Yes.
doesn't that analogy to Apple make absolute sense? Remember
Like,
during
what
the early iOS days, they patented slide to unlock, which is basically the
Yeah.
fundamental thing that every phone does. Same thing. Right?
So
They
now
are
on
the Apple of
Go ahead.
gaming. That's what they are. Clearly. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On the screen is probably the most
Oh
ridiculous
yeah. Oh
thing
yeah.
on
The most egregious
like-
example. Absolutely.
Like-
oh my
Yes.
God, the
D-
game.
Yes.
This
the-
was
the-
this. Yes,
Oh
and you
my
can't even
God.
talk. You're just like, like especially when you've seen Astrobot and what it did for
Imagine
free with the PlayStation, and then you see this,
Imagine
and you're
going
like,
to Best Buy, right?
you have to
You go to
pay
Best
for it.
Buy, they hand you this beautiful, awesome TV, and then they're like, instruction manual, another $30. You're like, excuse me?
and it's boring.
What?
I saw this and I was like, nobody wants to play this. This is like the brochure that you have to click through to get to
Yeah,
the
it's-
actual home
It's
screen.
so
Nobody
bad.
wants to
I
play it.
can't believe they're charging for that. It's so obvious that should just be there
Oh.
for free.
But you know what,
But-
Hargy? Here's the funny thing about that. Every single game they mentioned during this direct, right? They talk about it. Oh, this, that, the third. Oh, it's going to be here. Oh, enjoy this, that. None of the games are pointed out as a paid game. This was pointed out specifically as a paid game. It's almost like, yeah, they're going to hate us for
They
it.
know.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
Like
they
they
do, right?
pointed it out. Look it up. Watch the whole thing. There's so many games pointed out. This is the only one that specifically has the lip service paid game because they knew it's supposed to be free.
And it's probably like
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the only
It's
games
fair.
that's available the day it comes out too.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Well, they have a couple of others, right? Mario
A bunch
Kart.
of them. They
But
do have
anyway,
a few. Yeah.
But that's kind of
Uh,
it. Yeah. or at
no, I
least
think they have
so far
others
that
as
we've
well,
seen,
right?
right?
But either way,
Well, there
like,
were some in July.
we should get into the show, right? We should definitely get into
Mhm.
our feeling about the show. But as far as
Mhm.
innovation, Asante, you bring up interesting points. There are things that they do innovate on, but
Yes.
there's a lot that they don't innovate on. And so if you take Nintendo, let's say the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original Nintendo, very innovative. It pushed the whole gaming market forward, where the console
Yep.
became relevant again, and we had this whole revolution of people wanting to buy a console. They've pushed gaming when you had like Mario 64, you had Zelda come out, right? The original Zelda, like you can have this kind of game. Wow, this is and they've just kept doing that, and then they sort of just gave up on that, right? You look at Breath of the Wild is probably the last time they've done that, where they've actually said, "Hey, we're going to set a standard," and like other games are now using, like Elden Ring, kind of took the same thing and expanded upon it quite a bit, right? But that kind of thing became a thing, right? So you take that, the innovation level where they can push the industry forward. They've kind of left that alone, and that you take the one dude out there who decided, I'm going to take Ocarina of Time and put it in Unreal Engine, right? Just a passion project on the side, and you look at what that thing looks like, and you're like, why the hell isn't Nintendo doing this? Why the heck can't they make Zelda look like that? There's like, if they want to charge $80, why the hell
tell you
don't
why.
they make it look like that?
I can tell you why, and you know why. It's because it'll be beautiful, it'll be fantastic, and it'll never sell as much as the cell shaded one that costs less to make.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Doesn't make dollars.
still gonna
There's
buy
an old
my
hip hop
Zelda
song. It don't
game,
make dollars. It
right?
don't make sense. It just doesn't. We
Mhm.
want to see it because we're gamers. I want to see Lord of the Rings version of Zelda, but it doesn't make dollars because it'll cost them maybe 150 million to make. So that means it requires way much more profit to justify. Right. And normally they make their games.
That'll be
$120. That's right. You know what I mean?
Profit, right? A mainline Zelda is going to sell like 20 to 30 million copies.
But see,
They're gonna make the
today that mainline Zelda, the money that went in was peanuts, and the money that comes back is glorious. You're asking them to put more money in, but they can't justify that it'll bring more money back. So it doesn't make dollars. It don't make sense.
Part about where they are, right, is because it works. Unfortunately,
Yes,
it works.
exactly,
And
exactly.
if competition finally kicked in, and it
Mm-hmm.
might do so, we actually have enough portables coming in now, right? And it might be a thing where, sorry Nintendo, you have to now compete for the dollar, where somebody might say, I'm going to spend 500 or 600 and get something that plays all of my Steam library, all of my Xbox library, etc., and that gets me a much better device. And
That's the smoke I was giving them. Yes,
right,
that's
is
exactly it.
Mario and Zelda or Mario Kart alone enough for people to come there? It might be,
Yeah,
right, but it
Yeah.
might not be, because there are equivalents. And if the equivalents start to really add up, at some point they're going to have to start competing again. I want to see that. I'm disappointed that to your point, the innovation, they have some. I don't want to say there's nothing, but it's just shinier. It's not, hey,
speaking
I
of that,
made
speaking
it
of that
look
innovation,
crazy.
speaking of the innovation, remember the whole idea with the Xbox? This, and people have already said it, so I'm stealing someone else's thoughts here. This console reveal was Xbox One. The whole thing was Xbox One, including digital rights access that's now tied to a card that could be sold. That's some innovation right there, right? When Microsoft did it, y'all went, nah, fam, and then they went, step away, nothing to see here. These guys are going to do it.
It was so
I wish they had
cool.
done it. Right?
That
Had they
was
done
such
it,
an
what
awesome
Nintendo's
Super Bowl.
doing now probably wouldn't be allowed to stand, because they would have done it better. Right? What Nintendo's doing now, yeah, they're tying digital rights and all of that, but they're tying it, and they're like Holly was saying, they're kind of the last stalwart of the fan and physical media people.
Yeah.
That is all gone now. Like, what you have is a shell with a hex key in it. Good luck. Right? You no longer have the game, right? And yes, right now it's not mandated, but it will be soon enough. It is what it is. So yeah, I agree with you guys. Like I think they have some innovation, but the innovation seems to be to stop what was happening last gen, which was, some people dumped their phone. They were able to dump their games and play it in better places. Now all the innovation is to stop you from dumping your games. That's where most of the innovation went.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do
kinda sad,
jump
right?
on real quick. We got a couple super chats we want to get to, plus also this comment from Tony from Plume Gaming Network, which is awesome. If you don't follow him, you definitely should subscribe, because he does a every day during the week. He does a show he drops in the morning of news in the gaming community, and he is fantastic at it. So please, highly recommend you getting and subscribing to the Plume Gaming Network. It is awesome. And Plume says there is a $10 difference in Europe between digital and physical. So, and the man does his research. So I definitely tend to believe him on that one. Also, a couple of quick ones right here. We do have a new member renewal.
Yeah, so we got Highlander Grim 0351, member for 9 months, renewing. Thank you. And then we got Simple Jack, $5. Game Pass equals primary gaming. I'll be dropping PlayStation and replacing it with Switch 2. More open to spending $70 to $80 on Nintendo than PlayStation first party if industry follows, and if we do actually get Steam or Epic on Xbox. You've got that. Sir X-Men, $2. Whatever happened to the grown-ups Zelda they had? Yeah, is that like the older Zeldas? I'm not sure what the specific.
Wasn't there a rumor of a proper big like AAA Zelda some years back? I think that may be what he's alluding to.
I mean, all their games technically for Zelda, like the big mainline ones, are AAA, whatever that means.
Well, I think he meant that there was a rumor of them going to a AAA Zelda by our standards, like a proper, look at the puddles Zelda, which I didn't believe it. I still don't believe that. So, we shall see.
I mean, again, look, we have not seen what the next one's going to look like, right? They might be like waiting to reveal that kind of thing. The hardware does have RT. It does have DLSS.
Yeah,
so it could do these things. So it has tensor cores. It's got all that capability, right? So let's not just assume it's not going to be able to do a good thing. But I still think they're just not going to innovate that way. And I'm disappointed if they don't. I want them to push the envelope and be that innovator that pushes the industry, right? And you need to have somebody on each of the platforms say, this is what's going to push the industry, right? So I'd love to see that from Nintendo as well. But either way, moving on. MJ Dark, $2. Nintendo is the GOAT. K, stop hating. Switch to D1. day one, right?
Day
But
one.
anyways, FarQ, hello FarQ, gifted 1 WebDave membership. Let me see if I can find that. That was a while ago, wasn't it?
No, that was just now. I got the other one.
Oh, that's just now because you had 5 WebDave.
Yep,
right?
I'm gonna do that one next.
All right, so let me find this one. Okay, and that was to Soil Tech. Hey, Soil
There
Tech.
you go.
Hey.
There you go. And I can
And
leave
I
these
think
off
I think
later.
there was also a super chat that was missed. I think Sir X-Men had a $2 super chat. If you can
Yep,
pop that up,
we'll
it was
get
a
to that one.
little
Yep.
further back.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
okay, and then
thank you.
WebDave himself gifted 5, and
Yep.
the people who got it.
Is the mechanic, Fuzzy
Yep.
Tomato, Mr. Xbox.
No, it's Mr. Xbot Tequila Trance, and then we got Preston
Malik.
and Malik. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Cool. And let's see if I can find the other. Was that one? That one? There we go. Nope, no, that's the
Mhm.
No, that one we already had. It was this
A
one.
little further
this
back.
one.
Yeah,
Sir
last
X-Men.
one.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Sir X-Men, $2. Bought $70 to $100 games in 90s. I don't care. Fair enough. There have been one-offs that have been that way. In general, it's because the cart needed to be bigger. That's usually
Mhm.
been the case. Or more technology was needed inside the cartridge to make it work. Fine. I like those things I'm okay with because you're actually paying for hardware that you need to make that game work. Fine. I get that. It's in this case, it's bullshit. It's just outright greed. All right. Did we miss any others?
Nope, I think that's it.
Right? I think
Yep, we're caught up. And I guess let's change our focus to the actual show itself. Whoever wants to start that is fine because I know we all have some input on it, and it's actually been playing here in the background for a little while. So,
all right,
yeah.
I'll just start whatever. So,
Okay.
I thought the reveal of the hardware was really excellent as far as what I expected from it. So I'm not expecting this to be the Series X. Certainly not expecting it to be the PC, right? So I was already going into this with show me the capabilities that NVIDIA is bringing to the table, right? That was what I wanted to see, and that's there. It's there, right? They're giving us 120 hertz at 1080, 4K 60. Obviously, this is upscaled. Fine. Those are the kind of numbers we get from Xbox and PlayStation. It's 4K 120. Yeah, good luck. It's upscaled 4K 120. You're not getting that normal, right? Fair enough. I think the hardware had a lot of cool features. You have a mouse capability that can be very interesting for people who like, first-person shooters and maybe want to play that way, right? You have that potential now, right? They finally added chat. Welcome to the party. 2002, we've had that on Xbox. It's about time you freaking figured that out. The camera gimmick, I don't care. Whatever. I don't know.
Although Hargeet, I would say real quick that chat that you just touched on, I would say it does deserve a little bit of smoke on that one.
Paywall.
Because if any other console manufacturer put a button behind a paywall, the vitriol would be ferocious. Like
Amen.
It'd be ferocious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we need to put a pin in that one just for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, though I mean, they also have to pay for cloud saves. That's on PlayStation
True.
as well.
True. Yes.
Whatever.
Which we give them
There's
slander for whenever possible.
However,
yes.
I'll also say that their online service is ultra cheap. It was like $20-$30 a year. It's
I thought it was with the is chat with expansion or just straight up mid the lowest tier get your
just
chat?
the online
Okay,
service.
Cool. So there's that.
Yeah, it's pretty low cost for theirs.
Mhm.
But either way, the games they showed overall pretty good. Third party, obviously they came prepared to show that third party's here now, right? They have some games that haven't even launched yet showing up. They have games that just launched. They have some older games. Elden Ring's coming. Then they had, is it Dusk Blood?
Yeah.
Exclusive, aka Bloodborne 2. That's coming to the Switch only.
Well, but no. We always bypass that. It's FromSoft exclusive multiplayer only experience. People forget that last multiplayer
it's still
only.
Huge though. It is huge.
No doubt.
There's
No
gonna
doubt.
be-
No doubt.
Is the
It's
game going to
not-
be everywhere then?
No. Hear me. It is an exclusive to Switch, but everybody keeps saying that it is Bloodborne. Bloodborne's a single player game. This is a multiplayer game. Like, please get it.
But it's the
You know, that's
only other version
Only
of
other one.
Bloodborne you're
Yes.
ever gonna get.
Gonna get it.
Yeah.
And there's going to be
Yes,
PlayStation
yes.
people that buy
Yeah.
this Switch just to play that.
Just to
game.
play it. Sure, no doubt.
Just
No
to
doubt.
play that.
No doubt.
And
So,
it's really surprising FromSoft did that because after Bloodborne has been trapped behind PlayStation, they've been really unhappy about that and said that they didn't want to do any more console exclusives. So I'm actually really surprised that they did this.
Yeah, right. And maybe that was in the works for a while, right? But yeah, it's
And
I
it is
don't like it
multiplayer
either.
only.
I
so-
would prefer at least it goes to PC, but you know, maybe there's a timed exclusivity window for that piece. I don't know. We'll see where that ends up. It may be a permanent Switch 2 only. But yeah, but that was a pretty big announcement. Donkey Kong looks good enough. The thing that I was missing, I wanted my Mario 3D game. They didn't give me my Mario 3D game. I know stuff is coming because they haven't even talked about Call of Duty yet, right? So I know there's more stuff to be revealed. Fair enough. But like, I thought that was going to be the headliner. They thought it was Mario Kart, which, okay, that's nice. But sorry, I would buy it for the Mario 3D game. That's what I was looking for. Unless they were somehow going to magically announce a brand new 3D, a brand new mainline Zelda game, then yeah, I'm there. that would be the other one, right? But they just released Tears of the Kingdom like a couple of years ago. I just don't see that happening immediately. So that was my main disappointment. The rest of it looks great. There was a Treehouse stuff afterwards that showed some of the gameplay. If you do some A/B comparisons, it looks like it's, again, somewhere between Series S and Series X. It does a better job than Series S in rendering. That could also just be optimizations, because as we know, it's Xbox is the least optimized for a lot of these, but some of these games are pretty well optimized for the Series consoles. So, it looks like it does somewhere between that because of DLSS. DLSS is so crazy, right? So it does some pretty good stuff there. So I thought overall they've done a pretty good job establishing that it's a relevant console in the current generation. It's going to cost about the same, if not a little bit more than the Series S, but about the same as your PS5 and Series consoles. It's gonna have to compete with those portables that are coming out, right? You got a $450 one, Asante, that's running Android. There's a $400 Steam Deck. There's a $400 ROG Ally. There's et cetera, et cetera. There's all these others out there. To be fair, the ROG Ally that most people would like to get is the higher end one that's like $700, or you get the X, which is it $800, something ridiculous, right? So there is a price range there, right? One thing to keep in mind, this being $450 kind of solidifies that, when that new Xbox hybrid comes out, expect it to be like $600-700. It ain't going to be cheap. And when the next Xbox portable, whatever they're going to put out in 27, 26, 27, whatever it is, expect that to be around that. It's going to be $600, $700, $800. So just bear in mind, that's kind of where we are, right? This is $450. It's going to seem cheap when you see the other prices. This is just the world that they're in. They're not going to take a hit on these things anymore. So that's just kind of the way it is. But overall, I thought the show was pretty good. A lot of good games. A lot of it is games that have been skipping, will not skip. Madden being one of them, right? We're seeing it on the screen. Will not skip. That is good news. They're just basically going to get all the stuff that has been skipping the Switch. It's now coming over, and all the new games. They did announce stuff that's upcoming, that's coming here. So that's all good. I think it's a console that now competes pretty well. That's exactly what we wanted. We have a third competitor that really does get everything now. Can at least get everything now. And then, we get the ridiculous $80 price tag for Mario Kart after the fact. It was very interesting. Zero mention of any prices during the show. Zero mention of any prices during the show. which to me says they're not confident with the prices. They're just not. Because normally, would you
If you like
expect
this
them?
video, please hit the like button.
Oops.
Do you expect them to not
Hit a
put
button,
that
sorry.
price there? Right? I mean, that just seems like an obvious thing, right? Most of the time, like, have you ever seen a Nintendo like release where they didn't just say,
Mhm.
"And here's the console price"? Like, they were absolutely not confident with that price. There's just no way around it, right? It wasn't even like announced, or it was on other retailer sites and stuff like that. That's how you got it. Eventually, they're like, "Oh, here you go. Here's the actual release price," and they put it on their site. And it's like, dude, come on. This should have been part of the show, right? Here's the console. Here's the price. There's two, editions. They announced the two editions. They didn't tell us the damn price. So there is definitely something going on there where they're not confident with the price. Could they change it? Maybe, but I'm not sure why that happened that way. It's just very odd to me, right? I think it's a fair price. Why weren't they confident enough to just share it? So I don't know. That was kind of my thoughts on the show. Overall, I think the show was excellent. I'll give it like a B+. But it is disappointing they didn't have that 3D Mario. I really kind of wanted to see that be the marquee game. They think it's Mario Kart. All right, fair enough. That's kind of where I am.
Quick super chat, real quick, and we'll get to Holly's impressions.
Sure. Sir X-Men, $2. I was happy to see GameCube controller. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they have that GameCube backwards compatibility, which is Switch 2 exclusive, right? Which is kind of cool. They have to add a whole bunch more to it, but you finally get, what was that? The Zelda Wind Waker, right? is now available.
Yep. Holly, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Direct?
I thought it was pretty good. It all kind of has a little stink on it, right? When you watch the whole thing and then the prices, but throughout the show, I was like, okay, all right, I am more interested, kind of like Hargeet. I'm more interested in the traditional Nintendo games, the Kirby's, the Yoshi's, the Mario's, the Toad, right? Like those are where I'm at. The thing I love it. I love it so much.
To go.
It's so good. And that's why I buy my Nintendo. But like I find it really interesting how heavily they're leaning into the fact that they're bringing in all of these third-party games and really pushing, this third-party promotional stuff. I don't know. Like, to me, and it's maybe just, the bubble that we all live in, is the fact that I buy a Nintendo for Nintendo games. If I want to play Cyberpunk, if I want to play Yakuza, if I want to play any of these third-party games, I play them in a different place, traditionally speaking, right? Because if I bought them on Steam, I can play them on my PC, on my TV, or I can play them on my ROG Ally, right? There's just infinitely better ways to play these games than there are on the Switch. So I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like most people who buy a Nintendo are really probably more there for Nintendo than anything else. Or Fortnite, right? If it's kids, they're playing Fortnite on it, and then they're playing whatever one-off, games randomly pick up, but probably not tons of them, especially when you're talking about $100 for a new game. But beyond that, I mean, it's good that they're trying to start to offer some of that. I do wonder, though, Cyberpunk is a very, very adult game, and there are very, very adult themes in it, and I'm sure that's not the only one that's coming to Nintendo, and that's fine, but I'm curious about how a traditionally family-friendly console having these games is going to over. Not that they shouldn't have it, but I think parents are way more, whatever you want, right? And they just buy it. It's on Nintendo.
Right.
But now that field of, family friendly is expanding, right? So I don't know. I mean, it's parents to do their homework, right? But I think there might be a few surprises.
Don't
here
buy
and
the
there.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
don't
there's
buy 'em the
there's
camera.
content that's not family friendly on there right now. So
Yeah,
honestly.
I was gonna say that parents doing their homework thing has been a factor in Nintendo's equation for a long time. To this day, like the Nintendo store has been far more dangerous than both the PlayStation and the Xbox store combined. Hentai,
And that's-
anyone? Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's my just because I only buy the like I said the Nintendo games that I'm interested in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't look at their store
Mhm.
95% of the time. Right. I just want
Oh yeah. No.
whatever the new
Holly, they get
whatever.
away with some wild stuff. Let's just say they get away with some wild stuff.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But otherwise, I thought besides that goofy tech demo game, I thought it was pretty decent, and I am a little disappointed that there weren't more. I was frustrated that the upgrades are $20 instead of 10, like the Zelda upgrade, and I was kind of like, "Oh, wait a minute,
It's 10.
is it?"
It is.
I
I think
mean,
it is 10. And I
we're
think
all
it's
just
included if you have the expansion pack for the online.
Yeah. And it's not all of them. It's just I think it's just the Zelda and a few others, but they are included in the expansion pack.
we come from Xbox where they just do that for us for free.
Smart delivery, right?
So
Nice.
I blame that on PlayStation because that really should just be if you already own the game and we did some graphical updates, here you go, here's the push. Yeah. But otherwise, it's a solid console. And I saw it, and Umbra will pay the price later.
He wanted me to make sure you saw that. Just I don't know why.
I only saw it because
What a
you
good
put it up
friend.
there. Thank you,
What a good
Dave.
friend. You're welcome. What a great friend he is. There you go. There you go. Welcome,
He's in the
Fonz.
doghouse,
Appreciate
that's
you.
for sure.
He is for sure. But I tell you, I do have to say that you and him doing the stream, it was really good too. You play the game together was awesome. So I enjoyed that. Also, so make sure you like and subscribe everybody on the channel, please. They definitely have amazing content, and you can definitely get a hold of that for sure. If as long as you subscribe to their channel, hit the little bell icon. Everybody's links are in the description of this video, and if you listen later online, they'll be in the description of that audio. So there you go. Okay, we'll get to you, and I know we might be close to wrapping things up for you. But if you want to, after you discuss the game thing there, and if you want to possibly your thoughts on this ROG Ally Xbox tease that was put out, the combination, since you are the handheld master, as it were. But the floor is yours, Hargee. Asante.
So to the show itself, I thought it was a decent show. I thought it was a decent show. As I've already said, if you are a person who games on Nintendo, this was their overtures to you, right? To Holly's questions, to her point, and I was actually having a chat about this with my buddy, what do you call it, Don Otaku, big Nintendo guy, having a chat with him on my show over the weekend. Exactly to the questions you were describing, Holly. People who play these games tend to play it elsewhere, right? But and the point that he made, and I agree with him, I thought it was very salient point, being that much like, say, Pick Your Poison, say Japanese games or fighting games on Xbox that are very rare and few and far between, they must start the conversation with the consumer to eventually get there to a point where, hey, this console will become the mainstay that plays the first and third parties. Today, that's not the case because historically they have not offered hardware that affords that. They say they are now affording hardware that affords that. So now they're starting that conversation. Frankly, I'm not sure that conversation is good. I don't know what they say they afford us is real. We shall see. Give it 2-3 years. We shall see. But they're at least saying that hardware is now capable of being the 4-quadrant third party and first party box. So I see what they were doing here, right? With the, hey, we can play Cyberpunk 2. Are you sure, sir? My 8840U wants to challenge you on that. We shall see. This is the thing I always come up with, right? Like Nintendo has always enjoyed being Nintendo and being able to clean up, and they will. Let's just be clear, they will clean up financially. But when you are in that price range where you then compete with the standard handhelds and you say, I can play Cyberpunk, then I go, really, can you? let's see how well you play it and how long you play it compared to this device, that device, because all those other devices do the same, right? And historically, you've never done that with Nintendo. Oh, they're just Nintendoing because they put their price unique to them. They're they take their ball, they're going home. Shout out to Infinite Umbra in the chat. Him and his partner Daniel McGee did a great show on it as well. Daniel's slander on Nintendo is biblical. I always enjoy listening to him slander Nintendo. But yes, it's what they do. They've always been on the corner. They're cleaning up, they're making their money. It's all good. And for Nintendo viewers, if you were a Nintendo player, this might have worked for you, right? Hey, you can now play some of the big dog games. You know what I'm saying? So I hope it works out for them. For me personally, as a gamer, I'm not worried about the first year, the second year, or the third year. I'm worried about year 4, when the next Cyberpunk comes out, when Witcher 4 comes out. How well will Witcher 4 play on this device in 5 years, in 4 years? That's where my brain is, right? Because they, to your point, they did a lot of overtures for third parties. So you're telling me that you can handle it. All right. Well, if I'm going to buy this, can you handle Witcher 4? These are the questions I have, right? What they showed to me was great, but as a parent who has a lot of who has 2 kids and a bunch of Switches and Switch games and this and that, when the price tag is what the price tag is, it makes me a bit more discerning, right? It means the kiddos will hold on to their Switch Lights for just a bit longer because $450 a piece, we shall see, right? When it was 3 and change and it was a little lower, it is what it is. Not to say it's ridiculously priced, but just to say that the added effect of having more financial commitment to just buy one makes a parent with more than one kid a bit more think twice before jumping in day one, right? So it is what it is. Especially even with the games that they're offering, right? As far as the games that I like, I really unlike Hargeet, I actually thought that the Donkey Kong game looked really awesome. I for one enjoy 3D Donkey Kong. I've enjoyed the 2.5D Donkey Kong for as long as they've made it, and this one looks like they're actually putting some real energy and real time into it, so it looks cool. So I'll be buying that day one. Obviously, I as I told you guys a few minutes ago, I just put a purchase into buying the bundle with Mario Kart Forza Horizon. So there's that. So I'll be playing that. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, the only thing that my only takeaway from this is if their messaging has worked on you before, it will work on you now, right? If you're on the fence, this might be when you jump in because it looks interesting. Shout out to Infinite Umbra once again. I think he's buying it for the first time this year. He's going to jump in, right? But if you're a diversified gamer, right? I guess that's what I'll call myself, a diversified gamer, where you game on all handhelds, as Miss Holly is as well, right? Her question was, where is it going to be for me, right? I buy it here. Will I be able to play it on my TV and on my handheld? And here, will it take it with me? And because of that tends to not speak so much to me. But hey, if you're a Nintendo gamer and you want to play Cyberpunk, it looks good. The man Idris Elba does not look like he has a impossible port, vanilla face. So there's an upgrade there, right? So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll say the whole show as a whole, 8 out of 10. It was good. If you're a Nintendo person, you dig it, right? And then of course we won't talk about the price point. And even the hardware price is not even my problem. It's the software price. As Holly has mentioned, like, who the hell are you, of all people, to come tell me that you need more money for your game? You are Nintendo. Like, get out of here. Right? Like, you of all people have no right to come tell me you need more money for your game because your budget never, like, you did it right, and we give you credit for doing it right. So why are you asking me for more money? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But people are gonna buy it. I don't expect them to have a altruistic mind or to be anything more than what they are, which is a money extracting organization. That's what they do. And if you allow them to, they will continue to do so. Right? Yeah. It is what it is. Quickly to the tariffs thing that people have been, big hole.
Go ahead.
It's tough. I know people don't want to. It gets into political territories and all of that. Me personally, I contend with the fact that because these gaming entities are not altruistic entities, they are They are money-making entities. If you give them a smokescreen, they will take it. And when they take it, they will fleece you for all the money you are worth. Right. Yep. So whether it's righteously because of tariffs that the price might go up, or whether it's because the tariffs are available, so now they can charge you extra and hide behind it, either or, they're doing it because they have no altruism in mind. They separate you from their dollars, and now there's an opportunity to separate you from the dollars, and they're taking it. Right. It is what it is. So
there you go. There you go. Welcome out to Epic Treasure. It's always good to see you. We do appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully we'll get you back on the show here before long. So, Kay, did you thank you for that your insight on that. Did you want to talk about the ROG Ally teas that we saw?
Oh yes. The real quick and I'll speak to myself as a gamer on that one. I am excited by what will run on that hardware, not necessarily what that hardware is. Right. Because again, much like Holly, we are ascended gamers, so we can play our games wherever we choose to, right? My question is, when I'm playing my game over here, does it look as good as my game over there? And does my game saves carry with me where I'm going, right? If the ROG Ally or the new one is cool hardware-wise, gets more people in, I'm all for it. Do not give me the same infotainment system in my new car in my Microsoft. Give me a new UI, make it nice, make it seamless, and then you'll have me excited, right? So is this, as I understand it, is this the device that final form? No, it's not. That is some years still away. But what they're offering here might be like a nice bridge to that eventuality. So I'm excited to see it. And, I hear June is around the corner, and we have other opportunities in 2025 to see some other offerings they have. So hopefully we get to see it from them soon enough, Yeah.
There you go. There you go. It's definitely a nice little tease for it, as it were. And I'm excited, and I know Hargeet's maybe got a few thoughts on this as well. So I will say this real quick. Thank you for over 250 people watching us right now on YouTube and on X and on One watching on Twitch. Thanks for joining us here. We appreciate you guys hanging with us. And yeah, so we'll get this from Dirt.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that earlier when I skewed it up, Hargeet, and hit it right in the middle of your conversation. I apologize for that. My bad. Oh goodness. Hargeet, do you have any thoughts on this tease? And Kay, just let us know when you have a hard out, okay?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, Kay pretty much hit it. Like, this is them, like, there's some marriage of the Xbox UI with Windows and the ROG, in a custom Xbox sort of partnership. Again, we don't know what the specifics are going to be. This is it's a journey, as I've been saying. It's a journey towards what will eventually be a much more cohesive experience, but we're not there. This is going to be a stepping stone. It should be a cool stepping stone. We'll see what they do with it. It also brings up, is that capability going to be locked to this device, or is it going to be more open and available on anybody's homebrew or other, like, you already have a ROG Ally, can you use it there? We will see what that means, right? But it might be locked. It might be that this is actually much more of a controlled Xbox device. In other words, it has the Xbox communication encryption chips in it to allow you to use the Xbox peripherals. If that's the case, fair enough. Like that, it does make it a little bit different, right? So I'm not sure what it'll end up being, but very much looking forward to what they bring forward. And again, it is a journey. I don't expect this to be the final form. It's going to be a good stepping stone on the journey towards something that we hope will be a much more cohesive experience once we get next gen. So I'm still looking forward to it. I would love to know when we get to see this. Maybe it is just June showcase. That's when we get to find out about this thing. I personally am not happy about the games showcase giving you hardware stuff. I prefer that the games showcase is just games, and especially when you have Microsoft, the publisher, that just has so many studios, so many games to talk about, and they're gonna have third-party things they have to talk about, right? So I would prefer they just talk about games, because unfortunately, with the last June showcase, we did have the reveal of a 2 terabyte Xbox, Series X, and a all digital series, but that's not changing the console, right? If you're going to change, if you're going to bring something new, you now have to go through it in depth, right? That's probably like 20 minutes of like, this is what we do. This is how it works. That is boring. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that in June Showcase. I want that to be a separate event for those who are interested in the hardware. So I just don't know when they're going to like do this reveal, right? I don't want it to be too far out, but I don't know if this is like a, hey, we're teasing you for something that's coming out in September or November or something like that. I don't know, right? So we just kind of have to play through that. They might also have just been waiting for Switch to do its thing, right? Hey, let's get that out of the way, because obviously that's going to take up market share or mind share from people who are going to buy a portable, right? They're competing directly. So maybe they're like, hey, let's let Nintendo do its thing, and then we'll talk about it afterwards, or try to bring our heat maybe a few weeks or a month later, right? So it's just an interesting timing, and I'd love to see what's going on. Yeah, it's a good tease, but I just want to see it now. At this point, I just want to see it.
Yeah, there you go. Holly, you're interested in this? Do you have any?
I'm good with my Ally for a while, honestly. I think right now, I wish it had a better battery because I have the first gen. But beyond that, I think I'm just gonna hang on to my Ally, use that, then wait and see what the official Xbox handheld is in a couple of years. It is gonna be a couple of years, I think, at least, right? So there is time if you don't have a handheld and you're looking for a new entry point. This probably is a pretty decent one because Asus has gone through a couple iterations now, and they've had a little help from Xbox with this of some degree, right? I'm assuming we'll see. And so it's probably not a bad investment. I just have one, and I don't really see the need in buying a new one. Well,
so
I mean, I would love to just have one, but I don't want to buy a new one.
Maybe you'll get sponsored. You never know.
Yeah.
So real quick for you, for those of you with that bad battery life Ally, I hear a pro tip for that bad battery life Ally is to install SteamOS on it. As I hear it, the battery life has increased dramatically on SteamOS. So if you do end up buying a device that's Windows based that's better, you can repurpose your Ally as a Steam Deck 2.0, and it runs really well even with the battery life small, because Linux works different. So
but the problem is then you lock yourself into Steam. Right?
You lock yourself into Steam. Yes. So you're gonna have to have a different solution for Xbox games. Absolutely. Yeah.
And Epic. I'm telling you,
Epic is not as difficult. Epic is not as difficult to work on the Linux side, but Microsoft, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll probably hang out, unless something happens to my Ally and it just totally works, then maybe I'll be looking for something else, but I'm good now.
So Asante, I got a question for you. What do you think? Is it going to be more ROG Ally X, right? Like that level of tech and price, or is it going to be more ROG Ally? What do you think?
I think it's more ROG Ally X. I think it's Ally X 1.5 and one lower SKU and one mid-tier SKU, but they're all ROG Ally X level, meaning, and I'm not saying necessarily that it'll have like the Z1 Extreme and the same kind of chipset or whatever. I suspect there'll be a newer chipset, but it won't be like ROG Ally 2. It will be the ROG Ally, some optimizations, I suspect, from a chip perspective, from a SoC perspective, but a lot of the same stylings. I hate to say much of the same because there's not much of the same, but it will be more closely aligned to the vision of Xbox and ROG together, right? Xbox button, the whole nine. It should be interesting. Again, for me, you can give me whatever hardware you want. Cool. I probably won't buy it. What's that software look like? Can I run it on this? Because if you can say yes, now you got me. Now I'm interested.
Okay. So if it is the X, then you're looking at an $800-ish device.
Well, so I wouldn't equate it one for one that way, because the ROG themselves, when they were pricing it up, They're doing it because remember, they do get some kickbacks here and there because they work with the vendors, Microsoft and the like. But their main revenue stream is the hardware purchase, not any additional purchases after. Right. So in the Ally and Ally X world specifically, they're done the moment you buy hardware. Right. Whereas Steam and Nintendo and Microsoft get to continue eating. Right. So that's why their price was priced that way. In a world where they are more closely aligned with Microsoft, I don't think that's when they're done. I think there's more incentives for them there. So the price point may not be as one-to-one to the other one, right? They have a partnership with Big Dog Microsoft. There might be some incentives there. So it may, I'm not saying it's going to be $500. Don't say that. I'm not saying that. But it may not be a direct translation to what ROG did by themselves, considering that now they have Microsoft also working with them on that development pipeline, on the scale potential. So that may bring prices down by exponential. ROG by themselves can't talk about 30 million sold, but Microsoft can talk about 30 million sold, and that will bring AMD's price down.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. All right, Rain G4, $2. Nintendo has seniority. Yeah, well,
no doubt. What are they? Almost 100 years old? Yes, indeed.
Yeah, something like that, right? I mean,
yes, they're almost 100 years
1920 something, right? When they started.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Clute.
They really are.
Who posted this for us? Talking about the we were talking about the Nintendo has dropped their price before.
Yep.
And this is the example right there. Was when 3DS.
I want them to drop
out.
their game prices, not necessarily the console.
Right. But
that's the
I
problem.
don't really care about that.
But they could be reactionaries. Is basically the point. I think is that if they feel, I guess, threatened or backed into a corner, they could definitely break it down a little bit. I think that's definitely a possibility. But then, Holly, you were nice enough to share a little tease it. We just saw, and I'm going to bring this up here. I just heard about, thanks to you, and that is the a marathon gameplay reveal teaser. So, anybody else seen this or heard about this? We're going to play it right now. I'm going to crank the volume up on it, see if there is any volume. It's about a minute and a half long, and we'll see. I guess is this the teaser for the actual gameplay that should be coming out from.
They're going to announce April 12th.
There you go. Well, here we go. There we go. April 12th.
Now, do you know why I'm not surprised at this? Because if you follow the great Paris Lily, at around 6:40 p.m., he showed a screenshot of something that had arrived at his house, and it literally was the cover of the marathon game. So I'm like, that thing's about to be blown up like in a minute and a half, and here we are. So there you go. That's cool.
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go. Shout out. So with that said, we have a few more quick topics to be going over, but I do know Kay needs to get a heart out right now. So we want to thank Kay Asante. Thank you so much, Jedi Master Asante, for being here tonight. As always, love your takes, your input, and your insight into gaming. And please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out to you, and the shows that you have on, and your amazing channel that you have as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, first and foremost, thanks to everybody for having me as usual. Thanks to the great panel. Holly, always great pleasure chatting with you. Hargeet, of course, sir. I will be seeing all of you fine folks in June. Tickets booked, hotels, the whole nine. It's going down. Whether we get into certain locations or not, I was talking to Hargeet. I'm like, either we're going to be in the room where it happens, or we're going to be in the bar next door, just licking the wounds and all that. But we're going to be there. So right. It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited to see you guys. We've been doing some interesting things on the show. Last week, we had one of the developers from South of Midnight on to discuss. The audio director was on, Chris Fox. So great show. Come check us out. Yesterday, we were obviously talking about the Nintendo Switch and all that goings on as well. So yeah, on the Gaming Circle podcast, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much. I see a lot of familiar faces. So you guys know what I do and where we do it. So thank you guys so much. Unfortunately, it being Sunday night, it's 9:00, so it's bedtime for certain people. Daddy got to go do some daddy duty. So I will bid you all adieu, and I'm sure I will see you guys again soon.
Okay, right. Thanks again. We really appreciate you being here. Please, thanks, everybody, guys. Like and subscribe to the great and mighty K. Asante. Yes. Have a good night, sir. All right. So with that said, we got a couple more quick little topics. But one thing, we would be remiss.
First, what did we think about that trailer?
Oh yeah, I thought it was good tease, but it is what it was. We haven't really seen anything yet, so I don't know. What do you think? Your thoughts?
Shit,
the art
I don't
style
see
isn't
anything.
what I expected. The art style isn't what I expected for this. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, no, it's just the art style is unexpected for them, to me, for Bungie. I am very interested to see how this gameplay trailer actually shows. They had an event with a bunch of content creators that showed up over a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years. And some of the scuttlebutt that came out of that was people were very concerned about the game after that. But it's been a couple years, so maybe they took what was going on and took that feedback and made a lot of changes. We will see. It's hard to talk about just a teaser like that, but people do teasers all the time, right? Yotai had that one and everybody loved it because they know what they're getting into, right? From Ghosts. So it's hard to say because it's a new IP.
Yeah. Yep. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what that game is.
Yeah.
It's all multiplayer, right? Like it's another multiplayer.
And that's right? The thing, right? So like they went from Halo for me, right? My introduction to them is Halo, which was epic, right? And then they went to Destiny, where the story was just thud. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then the gameplay, at least the gameplay part of it was great, but it's like the story was just you have to go read things outside of the game, inside of the game. Like, get the heck out of here. What did you do? And Destiny 2 was a little bit better, but it still never really captured me. A lot of people play the multiplayer. That's fair. But I didn't care. And that never was the same level to me as what Halo did. And this, I'm like, what are you showing me? What the heck was that teaser?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot is riding on this for Bungie.
Yeah, maybe just a bit of excitement for the 12, I guess. But extraction shooter is what everybody says it's going to be. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. We have another super chat.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't turn out to be this. But
extraction shooters can be pretty brutal. It's a tough market.
Victor Alistine, $2. Teaser is reminiscent of Ultraman Transformation. I'll agree with that. Jay Reese, $2. Marathon looks like dog shit. That's what he was waiting for. I assume he meant instead of bees, burden. But anyway. Yep. Thank you, D. Reese. Appreciate you. So with that, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this real quick because it actually was number one at the box office, and so yeah, we'll pull up on this. So Aaron Greenberg talked about it. That Minecraft made like 7 million on Thursday, and then big opening weekend. My daughter is a manager of a floor manager, I should say, of a Malco movie theater, and she said it is a lot more people showing up for that, and not so many showing up for Snow White. But I digress. So yeah, so in fact, Snow White was pulled from some theaters already. So interesting. But yeah, a lot of people said that that Minecraft was, it's a very, his humor is Jack Black, and a lot of people said the performance from Jason Momoa is probably something we can kind of pull from as he takes on the role of Lobo in the future as well. So that'll be interesting as well just to see. But a lot of people said if you're a big fan of the game, that you will love it. A lot of good callbacks and elements to it. And I've been interested to watch it. And it's a kids movie. So, but there were a lot of adults that went to go see it. So basically, if you like movies like the Lego Movie, that kind of thing, I think it's something you probably will enjoy and get that same kind of same thing out of it. I guess where it's not a hugely magnificent visual thing. It's a lot of people said it looks like a lot of green screen work. Well, yeah, well, it's I mean, it's Minecraft integrating, and I've heard the only weird part was when one of the characters from Minecraft gets out into the real world, and they kind of cut back and forth between that, and they said that was kind of bizarre. But I haven't seen it yet, but it looks interesting. You guys, have you seen it? Anybody, or are you guys interested in it at all? Holly, I know you're dying to go see this, right?
So I
You have seen it.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
have not. I have really no interest in it. I'm a little over Jack Black, and he's, for me personally, he's kind of gotten to the point where he plays the same character a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm plus, like for me to go to the movies these days, like it needs to be like something epic. I will wait until it comes to streaming a lot of times now to watch something if it's not something that I feel like, oh no, I have to see this in the big screen. But I watched the Angry Joe review today, and that was entertaining. They did not enjoy it. But I also talked to one of my friends who took his kids and they loved it. So it's really, but then it's probably all household specific too. Like if you've really spent some time in Minecraft, it probably resonates. If you didn't, then it probably doesn't. But
exactly. And it's weird. It's called a Minecraft movie, not the Minecraft movie or Minecraft. It's just a Minecraft movie. That's kind of weird, but there you go. Hargeet, nothing, anything, no interest, no excitement.
I mean, it's already made 300 million. It will cost them 150. There's probably a good enough marketing budget for this. There's also going to be licensing and all that. Whatever, fine. So it looks like it'll make its money back, right? It's on the way to making its money back. So good for them. That's awesome. I mean, I haven't been watching too much movies and TV for a while now, so this wouldn't be the one to entice me to come back. So
there you go.
But it's just good news that they're doing well enough. It's better than a bomb, right? So
right.
It is sad that many movies do have they spend a lot of money and fail. That stinks, but it is what it is. But this one's doing well. That's good. That's awesome.
Yep.
Hopefully there'll be more like that. They keep making more money.
Exactly. Okay. Awesome. And we know that the season 2 of Fallout is well underway, and they've already teased that they're doing some already doing heavy screenwriting on season 3, as season 2 is going so well. So there we go. So I'm excited for that. I love that show, and I hope it does as well. So Microsoft got some wins under the belt as far as that goes, considering some people big step back for Halo, but hopefully that's going to find a new outlet. I believe that they talked about shopping that around to somebody else to work on that as well. So we'll see what happens. But the last thing we'll kind of touch on tonight as we wrap things up is going to be this month's big games coming out for the Game Pass. We'll play this little quick teaser that was pretty well done from Microsoft, and check that out.
You know how they say it's not the destination, it's the journey?
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
And that the people you meet along the way become the family you have at the end.
They say truth alone triumphs.
Where there's unity,
There's strength.
When the soul is ready, the path appears.
and if you fall 7 times, stand up 8.
They say all these things, and you know what?
They're right.
Nice. Very nice. One of their better done ads, I think. They're pretty good. Holly, what are your thoughts? Are you excited for this month? All the releases we're getting so far, including what Borderlands just dropped, Borderlands 3. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got the South of Midnight release date coming in on Tuesday, and then for me personally, I've been really excited for Claire Expedition 33 since they showed it off last summer. So that later on this month, and that one's a super highlight. Towerborn was did I miss that? Is Towerborn dropping this month, like officially?
Some people say it is, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't see.
I don't remember seeing any date for that. Because that's been coming for a while too. I'd like to check that out and see what that's all about.
Me too.
But Game Pass has, there's always a ton of games in Game Pass that just don't get highlighted because they're smaller experiences or they're more niche for people. And I would encourage everybody to just randomly go through and look at what's in there all the time, because there are some real gems in there. I just did this one, Shady Part of Me. It was really good. I love that game. And Nine Souls was bouncing around the community for a while as like a really good soul style game, but it's like this cat ninja thing. And that's been in Game Pass. So there's a lot of good games in there. You just kind of got to keep looking and look for your new and greatest, best experience, because some of my favorite games are in there. Oh, Dave.
I agree with that for sure. Yeah, sorry about
there
that.
You go.
The wrong screen. Dave's talking, and nothing's coming out. We like it that way. Let me share this over here. So Hargeet, I'm gonna pull up like the image that they released, and while you're giving your thoughts, because I know you scramble to get some of the games that are leaving, but I know there's some new ones that are coming that you're interested in for sure. So, floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the like Expedition 33, obviously South of Midnight, I would like to try it out. There's plenty of stuff coming in, and there's more coming in May, and it keeps going June. It's when is it Wu Chang? Was that the other one that's coming this year?
Yeah, that's coming sometime too, right?
Yeah, so we have that to look forward to, and there's a whole bunch of other things, right? So yeah, it's, I mean, they're kind of killing it as far as adding things in. The only headache is, how do we keep up?
Right.
It just keeps increasing the backlog, and that's been the big headache. So whatever, I like
that problem to have.
Not a bad problem to have. Yeah, it is. It's nice that we actually have a whole bunch of games. That's cool. But it is also like daunting to see that we want to, how do we keep up? Right. So, but yeah, whatever. Right. So we just keep going. Right. We'll keep getting more and more stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I mean, I'm excited for the Blueprints that's coming out. That really looks good. Let's see. There's the Commandos.
Oh yeah, Blueprints looked really good. I was really excited for that when they showed off.
Diablo 3, and coming back is Still Wakes the Deep is going to be coming back, which is awesome. Awesome as well.
That was a good game.
I thought so too. I know there was a trailer that I saw that had a little more. I'll skip to it real quick, and then we'll, as we wrap things up. What did I stick it? I can't remember where I put it. Put it in my live videos. I think that was it. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. Jesus, where did I put it? Let's see. Nope. This is the best part of the show right here, right? When I'm just rambling and stuttering and looking around on another screen trying to find what I was going to play up there. And, there we go. There we go. All right. So I will share this screen. There we go. So some of the games that are coming. Let's skip ahead to, because we actually Grand Theft Auto 5 is actually coming back into the service as well. So there we go. We'll play this from Xbox On. I love those guys. They do a good job. So it'll go through a couple of them. Let's see. Let's see here. No. There we go. There's the.
We had Mount Holly.
Yeah, I know. That's why you got to play it, right? No, that Blueprint looks really, really good. That was in their partner preview or the ID at Xbox show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one.
Yep. Keep getting this Hargeet. When is Oblivion Remaster hitting? Do you know?
It's not even an official game. And how the heck do we know?
That's supposed to be this month too, right? They're saying they might announce it next week. That's the latest rumor floating around.
Right. And of course, Hargeet
Cool.
sources are tight-lipped, so he's keeping it real. Just kidding.
No, I really just don't know.
Whatever. Insider Hargeet knows everything. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, this does look good. And there's a couple other ones that are coming. April 15th, Hunt Showdown. So more updates and stuff to that game. So lots of good stuff
That
coming.
game's fun.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
No, I
With a
haven't.
friend, it's fun. With a friend, it's fun.
Cool.
Mhm.
It does look good. Let's see if there's anything else on here. Goriel, and we know that the Borderlands is coming as well. Can I kind of get you fired up for Borderlands 4, as it were? There was something else that was on here too. Maybe not. That's all right. All right. Well, guys, thank you all so much for being here tonight, and a big shout out to Holly at ThatBlueNumber. Her channel is actually getting really good. She's finally doing some live streaming herself, and loving it. So please make sure you like and subscribe. Holly, please tell everybody where they can find you and where they can reach out to you to watch more of your content.
I have a channel. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out where to really land. So for now, I'm just live streaming gaming. I'm playing Doom Eternal. Yesterday was supposed to be the finale. Did not go that way. I got to the second to last level. I had 2 levels left. I was like, I'll be fine, right? I got the second last level, and I spent 2 hours on that boss. And my frustration level was extreme. And then I got to another room that I got stuck in the last level, and I said, you know what? That's it. I'm done today. It was 6 hours. So I'm going to try to finish it tomorrow. And I cursed a lot in that. So if you just want to hear a lot of F-bombs just dropping every 35 seconds because I got hit with some BS on the stream from the stupid bots, you can go watch it on my YouTube channel. And also I'm on Twitter. So come and follow me. And after I finish Doom Eternal, I think I'm going to play the Stanley Parable, which one of my panel members on the Renegade Realm, which is on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Central on Red Wolf's channel, just talks so much about. He says it's just like the funniest, best game ever. And then I'm also, I think, going to try to co-stream with maybe Panda, maybe Epic once, you know, just bounce around and stream with some other community members, random days and times. So come follow me if you want to see some of that.
Definitely. That's a definite follow for me. And he did it. I don't know if you can see it on the screen there from RSJ Fan.
Yes, RSJ Fan has been in my chat, and they're just a lovely person who's super supportive and forgives me when I curse
She
up.
says you did excellent.
I do some creative cursing and lots of real words. So.
And say, look, you get more subs right now. Look, see, subbed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. It's an honor.
It is.
And thank you, Dave, and thank you, Hargeet, for letting me be here and talk to you.
You are most welcome, and hopefully you'll be back again because we love having you on. So there. And of course, and thanks to FarQ for your official Jedi Master robes.
Yes.
That's really good. Yeah. So if you missed that, check out the show earlier on. We started the show off with that. So I'll show some amazing pictures of Holly as a Jedi Master Rey. There you go. Loved it. Love it. Hargeet, please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out to you on Discord only, but then or email, and then all the shows that you are on. So many, and I love it.
Yeah. So my channel, Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube. I'm at like 912 subscribers. It'd be great to get to like a 1,000 at some point soon. But so anyway, so subscribe away if you can subscribe to that. If you want to pick up my book, Emergence, shop.chani.us. I'll be on with Boom on Wednesday, which is supposed to be the pre-order day. In the US, that is apparently not happening. We don't know. We'll see what happens. But so 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, Double Barrel Gaming. Check that out. We'll hopefully get an update by then as to what the heck's happening for the US market. And then I'll be on with C Money and Doodle on Friday, 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, 8-ish p.m. US Eastern Time on Point for Gamers. And then on Saturday with Fonz on Fonz Gaming Channel at 6 p.m. US Eastern Time. Check that out, and we'll be back next week. Well, whatever the mess is for pre-orders, I'm sure we'll have some notice by next week, and we'll go over what the heck is happening and see where we are. Right?
Yep.
And I just added some videos over the last few days. A lot
really good ones too.
As well, and then I just added one today. If you're jumping into PC, it'll help you figure out how to just automatically update your drivers, so you don't have to manually go and do that every time. So go check it out.
There you go. And thanks you to everybody who's joined us. Thank you. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to the channel, and it also doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. We appreciate you doing that. And of course, if you want to become a member, it's only $1, and it gives you access to all the cool emojis. And thanks to everybody for joining us here on the Gamers Council.